And there I was the girl from Suits.
This one's wife. Crumpled control. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Some of you listening are parents. All of you have been children at some point. And therefore, some of you may just recently have attended sports day for your little crotch goblins, or you'll recall when you attended a school sports day in the past. Your glorious narrator was an accomplished athlete when he was younger, and at primary school I regularly won a number of the races. You'll recall them. The flat race, as it was called, basically a sprint. I powered across the school field and won year after year, being the fastest in my class. The egg and spoon race. There was an obstacle race, and there was the sack race. There was another event that I would win, because rather than jump in a demented fashion and thus run the risk of falling over, I simply held the sack up and ran inside it, which was far more effective than trying to jump. I won, but thereafter I was told that I would have to jump like everybody else. Balls to that. Nevertheless, it looks like this one's wife has recently been joining in the spirit of the sack race, because she turned up at the Hamptons event looking like she was wearing a sack, as you can see from the picture that adorns your screen. This one's wife attended the event in a rather unflattering sleeveless tan suit. And it's worth pointing out, once again, this failure. It doesn't flatter her in the slightest. It really looks like she's hauled a sack up around herself. The legs are too long for her. It doesn't fit her. Her frame looks poor in it. And as ever, it's crumpled. This is something that one comes to expect of this one's wife, and as she poses with Misha Nunu and Bobby Brown, she demonstrates once again her lack of fashion sense. I've explained to you before, but it's worth making mention of it again, that she doesn't stand in front of a mirror and think, I look like shit, but fuck it, I'll go out anyway. She actually believes that she looks really good, because the distortion field of her narcissism tells her that she's beautiful and elegant. And thus, when she put on the sack, the narcissism basically told her, you look really good in that. She ignores the creases and the folds. She ignores the shapelessness around her torso. She ignores the fact that it's draping along the ground, and quite probably doesn't fit her because she's borrowed this as another item, as she so often does, and has to return it to the relevant fashion designer or house. Thus, we get another example of this one's wife turning up looking like a dog's breakfast as a consequence of her somatic narcissism. There are somatic narcissists that are absolutely stunning. They ensure that when they go out, their hair is immaculate, their makeup is in place, that whatever that they wear looks elegant, tailored, inviting, whether it's skimpy or reserved, whether it's subtle or out there, they look stunning. That's because their somaticism works in a way to ensure that they do look appealing. This one's wife's somaticism simply tells her, you look really good, even when she does not. And thus, we get another aspect of her narcissism in action when she turns up dressed in this fashion. I've explained elsewhere how this one's wife attendance at the G9 summit was her gathering crumbs by way of character acquisition around far more successful people. But it also, of course, was an opportunity for her to attend with Richter's grin in place for the purposes of managing her facade. And we have two pictures that have been taken from the Instagram account of one of the individuals that was there, Jamie Kern-Lima, who I understand runs a cosmetics line. And she posted two pictures. One which showed her with this one's wife, who as ever, her narcissism will be embracing the fact that she's been included in someone else's social media because that will assist with facade management and assertion control over the audience who happen to look at it. Thus there she stands, Richter's grin in place, as she demonstrates that, look, I've got some people that like me and want their picture taken with me. The second photograph is demonstrative of, once again, the physical assertion of control that we know so well in relation to this one's wife. Ordinarily, we have seen that manifest in two ways, principally in relation to Prince Harry, in the way that she uses the grip of doom on him, grabbing him by the hand, pulling him, prodding him, pressing him in the back, moving him out of the way. She regularly manhandles Harry, and that's all driven by her narcissism, whereby she has no emotional empathy for him, that she must assert control over him in a physical manner, and she shows no accountability for her actions. The second manifestation of such behaviour is with the people that she meets, whereby she fails to recognise boundaries by always going in for the hug, getting hold of people, touching them, gripping them, in an appropriate fashion, people that she's only just met. Her narcissism tells her that she's being kind, that she's a hugger, that she's doing this because she's not a stiff, that she is all about being kind and exhibiting the emotion. But do not lose sight of the fact that she is a narcissist. And what that means is she's doing all of these things for facade management, albeit not consciously, and to control those that she interacts with. You get hugged whether you like it or not. But we've seen another manifestation of this physical assertion of control, as Jamie Kern-Lima has provided a picture of her sitting alongside this one's wife. She's captioned it saying, "Love this pic because it captures the essence of friendship. Thank you, Meg, for being such a supportive and loving friend." She, of course, doesn't realise that the supposed support and loving friend behaviour of this one's wife is simply an act generated by her narcissism to get to the prime aims. There's no such thing as a part-time narcissist. The narcissist isn't sometimes genuinely supportive and loving. The narcissist is never genuinely supportive and loving. Support and love is only demonstrated as a means of getting to the prime aims. In this pic, she continues, stating, "In this pic for holding my arm with such love as I was about to walk up to stage and speak, and in real life for how generously you show up for your friends." So, a little bit of kiss-ass there. And as you can see from the picture, this one's wife is sat rather unnaturally, placing her hand on the lady's arm. This is intrusive. Now, the individual concerned has interpreted this as a supportive act, which is what is intended to convey. But once again, because we know that this one's wife is a narcissist, what she's actually doing is asserting control over Jamie Kern-Lima and is managing her facade by making it look like, see, I care. But what she's attempting to do is utilise Jamie Kern-Lima as an extension of herself. By touching her because she's about to go and speak, this one's wife is making it as if she's going up there and speaking. It's purely performative. She doesn't care about the lady sat to her left. She doesn't give a rat's ass because she's a narcissist. But her narcissism recognises the value of making the appearance of being kind, the appearance of being supportive. And thus it comes to pass with her placing her hand. It looks ridiculous. It looks intrusive. As stated, the recipient actually doesn't mind and has interpreted it as an act of support, although if she were to realise that this one's wife is a narcissist, she would understand that it's something completely different. But once again, we see the physical assertion of control by this one's wife, and you, all understanding that she's a narcissist, know that it's purely performative and in the pursuit of the prime aims. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.